Stop that self-care.
Hello.
Hello. That's what our show's about. Self-care. Here we are in San Diego. It's actually cold. Woo!
It's
I got
a
my
chilly 69 degrees.
finally cold. Broke out my
Yes.
winter gear. And Nancy over there, she's got her holiday red lipstick on.
Yep, it's a special occasion.
Hey, I'm awake,
Woo!
so that's my contribution.
I am with you on that one. I am awake with red lipstick.
Hey, that's even better.
Yeah, and I'm barely awake.
This should be a rockin' show.
I know. This is definitely an episode that needed to be done at this point because, well, no, it's just starting the holiday season. We're just starting to get into all of this.
Yeah, and we're already worn down. We're going in worn down. So what do we have in store for us?
So thank you to Nanci Tunley for prepping for this show and showing me that we should focus on what we shouldn't do. And that's what I love about this. It's like, okay, all you mamas, you guys just do too much, basically. And hopefully we'll pare you down a little bit and get back to things that will make us happy. Because I think it's so funny, right? It's like this is the time of the year for joy. And it's the time of the year that's like the most stressful for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe, you're so right, and we've talked about that before, of doing too much and getting attached to doing too much, but really kind of stating in the positive what we do want to be experiencing first.
Yes.
So instead of talking about what we don't want, oh, that's too much, or getting too many invitations to whatever.
Right.
Like, even if we try sometimes to, say, okay, we're only going to do this, we're only going to do that, it's almost like we attract more of it sometimes. It's like, okay, I said I wasn't going to do this on this weekend. We weren't going to do anything, and we got 10 invitations.
Yes.
Right.
And then there's the whole FOMO, the fear of missing out. And you want to make sure that your kid has the memory of that holiday or, that quintessential kind of like American idea of what the holiday is supposed to look like.
Right.
And so we also strive to get that and maybe overbook like I did for Halloween.
Totally. And don't you think that we try to either kind of relive our own holiday memories as kids, or we try to correct them?
Oh, yeah.
We want it to be a certain way, either because we want to be like what we had, or we want to be not like what we had in some ways. And so there's that too, where we kind of have this like subconscious drive in us where we start to like, I know for me, I love the holidays. I love the holidays. But I don't like the grind of it. And, I have a 7-year-old now in the Nutcracker, and it's like that alone, like the rehearsals alone.
Oh, forget it. That's it. That's your life for the season.
That's it. It pretty much is it. Luckily, I have friends there. It's okay.
Well, no, I'm saying it's okay, but that goes along with, choosing just a few things to really focus on so you do have those moments that you're striving for.
And how do you say no to all the other invitations, though, too, and be okay with it? That you should say no, or, even the unforeseen where your child gets ill during the holiday season and you can't actually make things, not dragging them along to do certain things, having to cancel, or
not being able to go and get stuff done in order to fulfill those obligations because your child is ill or other things crop up.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So it's a tricky time of year because it is a really amazing time. It's the end of the year. you know, there's kind of a promise for a new start in January,
Yeah.
or at least the illusion of a new start.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, it's just kind of the flow of the year.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. Well, I wanted to, before we get started, we do have viewers, so
Yay,
hello.
hey.
Hello.
Thank you for watching us live. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free. If you're watching us through Google, you should be able to just type right in a question or a comment, and then I will check the Q&A throughout the show. Also, something that's really cool is if you're watching us through YouTube, the questions or comments just underneath the video, they load right up to my phone, so I'll see those really quickly. So definitely leave a YouTube comment if you're watching us live, or just say hi. Let us know who you are, because I'd love to let you know or mention you on the show.
Hey.
Also, too, if you're watching through Google, I think this is the only way to see this, but if you're watching live, you should be able to see on the right-hand side there, we're showcasing a few websites. One of them happens to be my YouTube channel, and then also Nancy's Revive and Thrive Nutritional Therapy and Wellness website. So you can just click right to it. So cool. And then also the previous episode of All Things Crunchy with Nancy. Well, I've done a few now, but the previous one was our first Mama Fatigue show, so you can click right over to that, going through the Showcase app, which it's just on the right-hand side of the video if you're watching through Google. If you're not and you're watching through YouTube, you can click right over. So, because I was just talking about the last show, that was a great show, and we definitely wanted to do this one because we just didn't reach so many things that we wanted to talk about on that show. So here's my little lower third, my little tag that some of the things that we talked about on the last show. We definitely got right into it with talking about co-sleeping and nursing, and that can bring so much fatigue.
You know what's so funny? That feels like a million years ago. Because I had just stopped nursing Charlotte, and it was like such a huge, huge milestone. That must have been in August.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it was. It was August 28th. Yeah. August 28th. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now
definitely.
She let me know that she's like always like kisses my boobies, and she's like, I want them to get ready for the next one.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah. I don't know. And then
you're like,
I don't know if that's gonna happen. She's like, I need to get to the fountain to make a dream.
Mama.
So funny. How quickly things change. You have this little baby, you're nursing, and then all of a sudden,
I was thinking about this the other day, and stop me if I go too far on a tangent, but there's that phrase that like the days are long, but the years are fast.
Yeah.
Or the years are short.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that it's kind of like when you're falling. You know how time kind of slows down and you see the ground coming at you? But you're always looking for opportunities to like get out of that, so you see the time. And I feel like that's what parenting is all about. We're in that slow-mo.
Oh my gosh. Totally. And you know what I think is so helpful? I don't know if you guys ever do this, but I will go back and watch video. You're taking videos all the time. Watching videos from like born till 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old. And because it's exactly how what you're describing, because when you're in it, you're appreciating it, and the vantage point is just not the same.
Right.
It's just not the same. It's amazing, but it's not the same.
Everything is just like extraordinarily hyper, like extra big, extra this, extra that, because it's just really, really big and slow motion.
In slow motion, yeah. And then, so if you go back and you look at videos from like a year ago, it's like a little bit of relief. It's like, oh, yeah.
I survived.
Really awesome.
Yeah, totally. I survived. Yeah.
I survived. The kid's alive.
Yeah.
Nobody has had to come in to intervene.
Or just remembering like that point, like, oh, I remember I was thinking at that time, how am I going to make it through this? Like,
I remember just but going at 2-hour intervals.
Yeah, definitely. So we touched on a lot of really cool things, I think, as far as like what do we do for energy? And I know a lot of us, we go right to substances like coffee and chocolate and things that'll give us that boost.
Yeah.
And that's probably not good, our nutritional therapist would tell us it's not a good idea.
Well, I think it is. I actually think it is good if it's done, in a way that's not going to be destructive.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. We don't want to totally take from ourselves the things that we love.
Totally.
I have when I was pregnant with Jason and I saw my midwife, she had me do a food log, and she's like, I need you to write down everything that you are eating, and please don't lie about anything, because I don't want to take anything from you, because if you're eating 2-pound bags of M&Ms, I'm not going to take those from you, but maybe we just do one pound bag first. and I was just like, I'm like, I love you. You're the best. Okay, I'll write down that I'm eating like a whole thing of Thin Mints because, it was like Girl Scout cookie time.
Right.
But I liked that because it wasn't, of course, when somebody takes something from us, just like a child, you want it more, right? So why do that?
It's the forbidden fruit.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about that. We talked also about some really cool tips as far as like when you're too tired, like what's not healthy. And so, Nanci really elaborated great on that. And she just gave us a lot of really awesome tips. Thank you, Nanci.
Thank you. I think we also talked about what's called the suffering obligations of love, and how it's hard to really kind of identify those boundaries sometimes and what feels good. And when we start to give away our energy, we start to give our energy away. And so, of course, like when you have too much coffee or you have too much chocolate or whatever, that's one thing. But there's also the energetic side of it where we say yes when we don't have the reserves to do that.
Yeah.
And so, with my clients, it's called the suffering obligations of love, and the way that we show our love and our devotion, in really an unworkable way to say I love you, because we're not loving ourselves as we're doing that. And that's a tricky thing as a mom. And we talked about that too. Obviously, like, your infant's going to need you, your 2-year-old's going to need you, your 3-year-old's going to need you, and they just need you differently as time goes on, and that, it shifts back a little bit onto us. We get our energy back, as they progress.
Definitely.
But that's a big one. Yeah.
It is. It totally is. Ever since I finally friggin' figured out that self-care is like, that is the fuel for being able to give to other people. How can I give to my husband? How can I give to my child? How can I give to myself if I don't give to myself in the first place?
Totally.
And so one of the things that we wanted to hit today with you, Nanci, was your suggestion of putting ourselves actually on the top of the list. This list for the holidays of things to do, the shopping, the parties, the going out of town. Like I really want to enjoy these things with my family. But I may not actually attend certain get-togethers because it may not be so fun. So is that a way kind of, or go elaborate a little bit more on how do we put ourselves on the top of the list?
Yeah, so the way you put yourself on the top of the list is to first identify what you want to be experiencing this season. What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to feel like? What do you want to see? And that's the first thing that you need to do, and write that down. So writing down exactly what you know, so that you can have it with you, and so that you look at it every single day. And that's what I do with my clients. I have them look at exactly what they want and what they're working on every single day. And this works really well for busy moms like us, or any mom, is to really write down. It doesn't have to be, I talk about doing this a lot with goals, but it also can be what you want to be experiencing. So if you want to be experiencing really, you know, epic joy this holiday season, and you're going into the end of the year like many people do, feeling kind of tired, already behind the curve, then you know, you're going to consider that. Like, what's it going to take for me to get this epic joy back? What do I need? What's my thrive list? What do I need to thrive?
You know, it just occurred to me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think this is great, because I think taking what you said and using it, because, you know, you can change your password on so many things super frequently. Yeah. So you can just change your password on your email for, you know, something like that, like, you know, I'm open to joy. Or,
totally.
So that way you keep reminding yourself.
Yeah. I would say I do that, but I won't say it because I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, right?
Did I just give away something? Shit.
No, the best thing to do actually for your password is a phrase, and then just take the first letter of each word.
Smart. I like that.
Password. But you don't want to give away your phrase then.
Yeah.
No, that would be awesome, because then you're typing it in and you're kind of. But I do like the visual. I did that, and I have done that throughout the years. I definitely did that when I was getting ready for having a home birth with Jason. I had to see all the affirmations all over my house, you know, like just so that I could be experiencing that, and like just keep telling myself, like, you know, all the things that I needed to know and hear. So if you figure out what you want this holiday season, definitely writing it down and visually seeing it, that would work for somebody like me.
Yeah, and I would even go a little bit further and just answer the question what you want, because it's not really what you want just this holiday season. It's really what you want to be experiencing all year round.
Yes.
And so I would take it from that perspective of not allowing the holidays to completely take you on a tangent where you kind of feel like you're going to lose your mind, and, you know.
Exactly.
So, you know, and what a wonderful way, you know, with the intention of, you know, January, I think to everybody is somewhat of a new beginning. They feel like they can start fresh, and that's where kind of all the dieting,
the resolutions come about.
And you know, it's kind of just like, I think a lot of people kind of just do whatever during the holidays because they feel they kind of have the hope, and hope is a very, you know, powerful emotion. Well, when I get to January, it's all going to be better because I'm starting over.
Right.
And the hope will drive you, it will be a ticket in the wrong direction, because hope feels amazing. Because when you're hoping, you know, it's possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that you reminded us too that, you know, this mental check-in and being mindful of what we want to experience isn't necessarily just for this holiday season. You know, we should do this all year round. This shouldn't be something. I mean, it's more meaningful at this time because things get obviously more crazy. But you know, even with, it seems like every month having a child that there is some sort of holiday or some sort of celebration that you're know going to be a part of, or like when your children are older, like one of your daughters is in a play, you know, so then all the, you know, activities, yes, everything comes in. So it's, you know, it's really hard to keep track of, like, okay, what am I gonna exactly. What do I want, and what's going to keep me
Right.
sane
And
through all this?
what do I want as me, not as
No, it's
mom,
you.
as
Yeah.
wife, as sister, daughter.
So that brings us into the problem. Let's talk about this a little bit more. Of what most women, and I experienced this totally. I didn't really do self-care until probably Jason was about 2 years old. It was not good. And so I'm like
I've been there.
yeah. I like push self-care. Like that's my first question. Are you doing things for yourself? Like what are you doing for yourself? Because I know that it was not good for my marriage. It was not good for my relationship with my son. It was not good for, just my happiness because I wasn't happy. So,
Right.
yeah, I'll stop talking. Let's talk about the problem. Not enough self-care.
Yeah. Not enough self-care. So I think that kind of goes back to putting ourselves at the bottom of the list. Goes back to putting ourselves at the bottom of the list. And, not everyone can be at the top of the list at the same time. It's fair to say, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so it has to be within the context.
Otherwise, it would be a spreadsheet and not a list.
It can be a spreadsheet.
No, I'm saying it would be a spreadsheet as opposed to because everybody's across the top.
Yeah, but you have to be you have to be in there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I have a problem with is consistency. I will start the race and I will be going at a good speed and then just fall off and then
look, shiny.
So what do you mean by falling off?
Like I think that it'll just like, for instance, I used to be a runner. I used to run a lot and I loved it, and that was like a lot of my self-care, but it was also really good health-wise and keeping myself in shape. So there was a lot of good things about it. But once I stopped that one day running, then it went into 2 days not, and then I haven't done it for a week, and then it's been a year since I've done it now, and like I physically need to get back into it because my body does not do well when I'm not active. But it's like literally hard to actually get back onto it, get back into doing the things that I need to do, my self-care.
Yeah, so what do you do instead of run?
Right now, I'll be honest, and I am not doing like any physical activity besides just chasing after my son.
Yeah.
And
that's exercise.
It is. But I need like I really enjoyed that time to even if I were to get out and walk, like that's my goal. I need to start walking again. But I like I could take my son out and put him in the stroller, but then he starts talking to me and it's not time for me,
Right.
I really want that me time. I've had plenty of self-care time lately, actually, with my mama friends.
Yay.
Yeah, so I've been doing that.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I mean, it just, for that's the one thing for me that has definitely, it's just like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Once I stop, yeah.
So if you're not doing it now, I think the most effective thing is do you have a calendar?
Yes.
Yeah, is to mark yourself in the calendar. Put yourself in the calendar, block the time out.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and write it down.
That
Show it to your husband, get accountability and support.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I used to actually have an alarm on my iPhone for getting up to run on the days that I had set to run. So, okay, you're just reminding me of the things I need to do.
Start slow. Just start with waking up at that time.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
and also you know it's really important to listen to your just like you did, just like we do in birth. Listen to our bodies, and some days you're gonna need to sleep,
Right.
and that's gonna be
Right.
more important than exercise. And you might have a different experience with running now than you did before because of the fact that that was a while ago. Maybe there's a different form of exercise that would be a better fit for you. I don't know.
Yeah,
But just being open to
probably.
what works.
Right. And that's the thing is that I think in my mind I would love to go back to it because I really did like it and I really liked I
Yeah.
liked doing it, but I loved ending it and getting that feeling like,
And yes.
I did
Yeah.
this, and really
Totally.
I would only, it would be like an hour full from beginning to end, leave the house, get down to where I would run, do my run and get back. So it's really not that much time. And I think that's the crazy thing too, is that even if you got up and walked out your door for 30 minutes, that is like not
Yeah.
a lot of time. But
No, I know. That's the nice thing about running is it doesn't take very much time.
yeah, but we
You know,
don't take that time. We can't find that time. That's one of the things I hear myself saying and I hear others saying.
I feel like we're so busy, but we accomplish so little things. It's like if we had that checklist, and we could go off and say, okay, because we calendar it in instead of just.
Yes.
But I mean, for God's sakes, MJ, I cannot imagine you any more organized than you already are. Seriously, we would need to like elephant trank you or something.
Take that as a compliment.
It is, yes. It is.
Well, sometimes I'm too organized. I'm like organized way too much that it's like not fun.
Yes.
But
So we just have to calendar in the fun. Calendar in the fun.
so what's your experience there, OG, with your self-care? Do you feel like you get enough, or do you feel like they're...
I feel like if I weren't always feeling so poorly, I would get more in, because like I like going to the Y and to the yoga classes and, that sort of thing. And I like being able to put him, Cash, in, the play care. So it's not, I can't say that I don't get it because I do. And my husband always gives me, doesn't even bat an eyelash when he's like, go hang out with your BFs, go hang out with the boys, go do your thing. So I have a lot of opportunities. I'm lucky in that way. But I still go crazy. I still go crazy. And my husband says, it is not a long drive.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
That's totally normal. And it's there is not one mother on the planet who does not feel that way.
Yeah.
Who does not get too tired and who does not let, get the carpet pulled from underneath her biggest effort sometimes. So,
What did Ryan say, MJ? We have to break the narrative. We have to change. We have to break the narrative. We have to change the story.
Thank you for being real. That's what he said to you. Thank you for being real.
Yes.
This is our life. This is our life. I think that's one of the things that we love about like doing these shows and doing our weekly show live with Mama Tribe. We're not hiding anything. Yeah. This is our life right here.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
Well, I do clear the table off, so I do try and look cleaner than I am.
You clear the table off so Cash can jump on it.
Yeah, him and the dog. Seriously.
Okay, so so then Nancy, let's just round this out. What do you do for self-care? I'm asking the expert now.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. What do I do? I think for me, the most important piece, or one of the most important pieces of my own personal self-care is to take care of what my desires are within my soul and what I want to be doing. And
So what does that look like?
Yeah, so for me it looks like this. It looks like educating other women on health and nutrition. It looks like, you know, splitting my time between doing that and spending time with my kids, which for me was a really challenging decision.
Yeah.
But once I kind of crossed that boundary, and it took, a lot of time to kind of figure that out, that this is actually what I want to do. So yeah, and then of course, like for me, number one is sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep is number one
before you're there.
Yeah, before exercise.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. Well, I like that you said that, you know, doing your work is in a way self-care for you, because I feel the same way about the work that, you know, we do with when I sit down to actually work, like I actually like doing it because I feel like, you know, the more that I'm doing stuff for the show or for Mama Tribe Network, like I'm, you know, the only thing that I'm pretty much doing is putting it out there and getting it out there and trying to, you know, make other people aware of what what we have available
what we're
for
learning.
them. Yeah,
what
exactly.
we're learning.
Right.
What we want to share. Right. And so, you know, in that sense, it's, to me, you know, I never looked at it as self-care, but I looked at it like I love doing it. Like I'm glad to do this work, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a big form of self-care personally, and that a lot of women look at self-care as just the you know, food and water and exercise and, you know, social time and stress relief. But really honoring what's in our soul is one of the most important things that we can do for our kids, because we are part of their legacy and what they're going to see and remember. And we are mothers, which is just freaking amazing experience and honor. But we are also you know, multifaceted, and we have, you know, more to offer. So it's important to exercise that.
Awesome.
Yay!
Yay! So one of the other points,
you know, and I think, you know, when you do that, you kind of the rest of the self-care kind of falls into place.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that you've always pointed out in our hangouts is like, okay, first figure out what it is, blah blah blah. You know, whatever we're talking about. Okay, what in this case, like, what is self-care to you, and then write it down, have it out, put it in your phone, remind yourself, you know. I mean, that for me definitely works, to have that visual of, or for me, like an alarm, like, okay, maybe we're going to do this.
Yeah, and even if it sounds or feels ridiculous, or like I'm going to go to yoga 3 times this week, or, you know, kind of stretching it out a little bit and seeing what happens and how that feels inside. Oh my gosh, I usually go to yoga once a week. What would happen if I got to go 3 times? Oh, that would be amazing! And to go in that direction.
Yeah.
And you know, that is like the recommendation, you know, to exercise, you know, 3 times a week. Of course, you know, 4 or 5 would be great, but 3 times a week, 30 minutes, you know, I mean, it's really not that long. That's the thing that, like, I think pisses myself off. I like get pissed at myself because it's like, seriously, like I can't carve out this time for myself, and I can. I just have to. I'm one of those people that needs to, like, schedule it. I need to write it down and have it on my friggin', you know, bathroom mirror.
And to be, you know, be compassionate towards yourself if something comes up, or you know, do come up, that's going to happen. It's not going to be perfect. And so to really have, again, like that, our women's wisdom to say, you know what, I didn't get to do this today. That's okay. I had to do this, and, you know, how can I make it better? Okay, what's tomorrow? So you're really staying on top of it. It's really kind of tough when you have young kids. It's very, very easy to get kind of behind the curve and feel that you're behind the curve. And that's really when when you get behind the curve like that is really when the fatigue, you get really vulnerable to fatigue like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and your patience goes, and then
right,
the guilt comes on, and
you're
then
no good to anybody.
Yeah. And then from then it's just a big snowball of shit, you know?
Yeah. And you're like, I can't stop my snowball.
Yes, you hit the almond butter jar with the chocolate chips.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or cashew butter. Remember when you had that? You had
that
that
was
cashew
so
butter?
good. Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, the cashew ricotta yesterday. Forget about it.
Oh, so yummy. You know, I'll tell you a little funny tidbit about me and my crunchiness. Before I was not crunchy, and my midwife mentioned nut butter, I thought that she actually thought it was.
Nut butter?
I thought it was a thing of butter with nuts in it.
Like those cheese balls at Christmas that you see with all the nuts on them.
She's like, you know, have a spoonful of nut butter, and I'm thinking like, what? Like butter and nuts? Like, okay. So anyway,
I can eat butter.
Whatever. That sounds good.
Yeah, totally. Especially when you're pregnant, like perfect. Yeah. So that's why I love the name of my show, because it's like I don't know everything crunchy. I really don't, but I would like to know all things. So Nanci, you came up with a really cool little write-up here of the holiday wellness revolution, and I love it.
Yeah, and I'm going to be doing a 40-day Facebook group on that, where I'm going to do offering lots of free coaching and inspiration and quotes so that we can all, especially me, stay grounded and connected and support each other.
Sweet. I want to be in that group.
Yeah.
Can I too? I need it.
Yeah. So the best way to do it is to go to my Facebook page, just make sure that you've liked it, or go to my website and subscribe.
Gotcha.
So I'll be announcing it on my Facebook page, and then also my sending it out on my newsletter. And that's going to start November 24th, so like right before Thanksgiving, and run through January 2nd.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you don't have to hit all the points, definitely, because we want everybody to go
enroll
to Nanci's Facebook page, and it's Revive Plus Thrive, right?
Revive Plus Thrive. That should help you find it. But it's Revive Plus Thrive Nutrition and Transformation Coaching.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll everything that I post on social media, I try to tag you. So if I'm able to tag you, then it'll be there definitely. But if you guys watch the show, maybe what I'll do is I'll put your Facebook link in the comments underneath the YouTube video, and
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that'll remind me to go to and make sure that I get on your event for that. That'll be fun. So, really, your holiday wellness revolution, from what I was reading, is, just starting out of putting us on the top of the list, and really asking those questions like, do I want to try to make this event and this event and this and that, and so like I said, I don't want you to go over everything because you'll have that time spread out. But
I think too, like one of the most important things in how you can make that decision on what makes sense to go to and what doesn't, and this kind of goes with, because that's kind of like what Erin's talking about with the fear of missing out, which is huge. And that kind of social pressure, and especially if you're different, part of different moms groups, and they're all having different stuff, it all does pile up. Is decide how much downtime your family needs.
Right.
That's good. Yeah, and build from there.
Yeah, because
nothing like waking up with nothing to do on the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
And that is so awesome sometimes. Yeah. I mean,
oh my God. Do anything.
Right. My husband says that to me sometimes. I don't see anything on the schedule. We don't have anything going on. I'm like, no, we have nothing going on.
Yay.
We can go. Yeah.
Yep. So that's good. That's a good point. So, you know, really just figuring out, okay, like for me, that when you said figuring out how much downtime you need, I would want to like go to an event one day and then not have an event the next day.
Yeah.
Maybe go to an event, not have an event, you know? So,
yeah, like there's some things I think of that are like non-negotiable, like, oh, I can't wait to go to that, or take my kids to that. And then you're right, it's like the next day it's like, oh, but we're probably going to need a break after that one. Or like, you know, if you go to December nights or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea to calendar in a PJ day.
Yeah.
You know, just a day where you have nothing. Maybe you make cinnamon rolls or, you know, whatever. Yeah, and you just Netflix and chill, but
there you go.
PG style.
Yeah, because I think that's the trick, is getting enough downtime.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great
idea. That. Instead of like, okay, because we could have said, how many things do you want to do?
Yeah.
Instead we flipped it, and it's, how much downtime do you want? I like that. And I like the PJ day. We randomly have those every now and then, like on a Saturday and Sunday. All of a sudden we'll realize at like 4 o'clock, we're still in our pajamas.
Those are the best days. Those are the best days.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Yes. So, you know, a little of what you were talking about for this holiday wellness revolution, the suffering obligations of love. You know, and like you said, you know, just basically putting ourselves at the bottom of the list, which we don't want to do.
And that's hard because we want to make all of the dishes that we're known for, and we want to, you know, make sure that everybody has their stockings ready, and, you know, or whatever it is. And so we can run around until we're harried, and that's the suffering of obligation. That's right.
Which some of us, you know, when we do those patterns, you know, it's kind of addicting, and you know, the excitement and adrenaline. Sometimes we're just kind of addicted to that. I know.
And also control too, don't you think? Like if you do have a dish that you make, you know, you can't you have to make it, right?
Yeah.
You know, so maybe
you can't share the recipe and have.
Yeah, I can't have someone else make it. But there are things probably on our list that we can give the control over to someone else to do. And
how dare you come up with an idea like that?
Asking for help, that's a big self-care.
Yeah, so that's a great gift to give somebody else, because then they get the gift of helping you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Your husband, I'm giving you a gift of helping me.
Yeah, it's true. Then they get to help.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works out. Not all. I mean, it doesn't always work out, but giving other people the opportunity to help, for sure.
Yes. No, that's a good one, and that's a self-care one too.
Yeah.
So we got killing two birds with one stone here. So one last thing I just want to talk a little bit about. You wrote down a nourishment list. So. And is this like actually, are you talking about like food, or what is?
It's whatever you need to thrive. So I would say, you know, the two things, one, scheduling, you know, downtime is on the nourishment list. So let's stick the nourishment list. So nourishment list is downtime. It's how much sleep you need. It's how much, you know, it's your social, going out, fun time, you know, what's fun for you? What makes you feel alive, and, you know, being the...
Not murderous.
Yeah, like what's the best, what makes you shine? Like where are you the best version of yourself? Yeah. And, you know, writing all those things down, whether it's yoga or karaoke, I mean, whatever it is, going to the beach by yourself. And so you're writing that down, and then you're putting yourself in the calendar to do those things, and it's not negotiable to give them up. So,
dang.
Yeah.
For me, if it's written down,
right, of course. Yes. There's blood.
If it's written down for me, it's like it's happening, you know. I mean, and you know, I like that you mentioned to Nanci to be kind to yourself if something happens, because you know, if it's written down for me, it's like, you know, if I don't get it done, I would like in the past kind of beat myself up.
Yeah.
Not physically, but mentally.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm trying not to do that so much anymore. Part of my self-care.
Yeah, and then you start to create a new normal for yourself. So if you're someone that doesn't spend, you know, this used to be me. I never spent even like an hour away from my child. I mean, if anyone's watching this and knows me, they're like, yeah. But when my first was like the first, second, third year, I mean, I was just like, we were always together. We were never apart, ever. And so it's been years for me getting kind of comfortable, you know, spending time away from my kids and trusting other people. And so it takes time to create your new normal. So now I've created a new normal for myself where it's like now, and you know, at first my husband would kind of be like, you want to do what? You do? Okay. You know, and now it's like what I want to do, if I want to go on a trip or I want to go to yoga today, like it's like, okay, this is our new normal. This wasn't what it looked like 5 years ago. It looks a lot different now. And so, you know, just kind of building that awareness and conscious choices.
Yeah, and it's definitely a transition, especially when you're a mom. I had the same experience, Nanci. My son was just not. He just didn't feel comfortable like being away from us, and we weren't the type of parents that was gonna like bring him over to someone's house and then run out the back door, you know. So and we also prepped him a lot for us not being around, and he just was not ready, and a lot of people didn't understand that, and I wasn't about to hang around to explain it to him, you know. But now, I mean, we had our anniversary, my husband and I, and we were talking about what we were going to do, and you have always brought our son with us, and it was so funny because we're sitting there talking about it, like, oh yeah, we're going to go to, you know, the Italian restaurant, and we'll, you know, we'll bring Jay, and then we hear him say, oh, Mom, Dad, I have a great idea. How about you two go on a date, and I'll go over to Uncle whoever's house, Uncle Kenny, Uncle Elliot's house, and I'll stay with them, and they can watch me. You know, it's like, okay, thank you. We've done something right for this child to trust that we will come back.
Ready,
Yes, exactly. Like I wasn't holding him down all these years saying, you're staying with me. He wanted to be with us. We honored that. And now, you know, is the time where it's coming back to us.
Yeah. Awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah, it was such a neat thing to have happen. Like, I seriously teared up because this was just not our life for such a long time, and you know, and we never did cried out or anything, so of course I wasn't going to let my child cry, you know, while I was walking out the door. So, you know, it was one of those things as a mom where you just instinctively know what your child needs, and you know, to me,
go with it.
Yeah, him saying that was like, okay, good job us going with our instincts and doing what we needed to do, because it paid off. So
it's really nice when they get to decide, when they decide that themselves.
When they're ready.
Oh yeah.
Ladies, totally. I'm hanging on by a thread over here.
No, you know, I'm about to close the show out. Let's I see all your comments
eyes are
here
watering.
though. Oji Mamacita, you're commenting everywhere.
Yes.
Thank you for commenting.
See, I just wanted everybody to know, just in case. It's like, you're not sure where the comments go, just right below mine.
There we go. Perfect.
Just right below mine.
So check out Nanci's Revive and Thrive on Facebook, because you said November 24th you're going to have a Facebook event going on for the holidays.
Yes, for 40 days of self-care.
Awesome.
And love.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah. We'll have to promote that out of this.
Yeah, there you go. And do you still consultations over the phone, like a initial consultation kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I do a 30-minute strategy session.
Awesome.
Sorry.
It's okay. No worries. You're just
30-minute
over
strategy.
there.
Yeah. I do 5 a month. And then I cap it at that. So I do have a couple left this month if anyone's interested. I do a 30-minute strategy session for either nutrition or self-care or anything in your life really that you want to be experiencing that you're not, and kind of really drilling down to what is stopping you or slowing you down.
Nutritional therapists are not just for nutrition, because it ends up going into all sorts of other areas.
Because there's the word therapist in there too. There's the word therapist. So
yeah.
Okay, mamas.
So check out last episode if you haven't seen the first episode that Nanci and I did on Mama Fatigue, and check out Nanci on Facebook, and I'm sure we'll have you on the show again, Miss Nanci. Thank you very much.
Talk about
yeah.
Thank you.
Something else. All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast, and we will see you guys in a few weeks for All Things Crunchy. What am I doing in a few weeks? Oh my God, I don't even know. Who's going to be on?
I don't know. I'm lost.
Oh, I think it's Kara Cadwallader. We're going to talk about postpartum care. I'm so excited.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
And I'll release the other Mama Talks with Ryan on the broken birth care system in our country.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a great hangout.
Yeah, it was definitely breaking the narrative. So have a good night, mamas.
Okay, thank you guys.
Good night.